Before I dive into our topic at hand, I did want to orient everybody that sometimes folks have different lenses on what customer success is. For me, customer success is truly a revenue driving function. But when I share everything out today, all of these strategies that are driving towards leading indicators of NPS and customer delight and product stickiness, I do want us to all keep in mind that our end game is cross sells, upsells, renewals, expansions, NDR. In my opinion, that is our North Star. So I'll give you that. That's the lens that I'm coming to this from. What I'm here to talk to you about today is the exciting moment where we change from white glove strategy, where we are doing lots of human interaction, where we're really leveraging those deep relationships, and the pivot to more of a scale strategy where we're working on leveraging automation, standardized processes, more in-app automated messaging or training, all of these great things. The issue is that sometimes as we are first making that transition, I find a lot of companies end up having customer experiences that feel really impersonal, and they lack the elements of delight, meaning, and connection that we know lead to customer satisfaction, greater product stickiness, greater renewals, and greater expansions. So I have a funny example to share. I'm sure you guys have all gotten a mass email from a company where maybe your name was misspelled, maybe it said dear valued customer, maybe they accidentally didn't fill in the programming to put your names in there. They probably started with something really generic, like I hope this email finds you well. And then maybe they dove into the 20 new features they launched without really connecting the dots on why this is meaningful to you. So this is a particularly bad example of scale. We'll go through some more realistic, real world examples where companies are either crushing or have some room for opportunity. But I just wanted to flag, I think we've all experienced this, and we probably all have some ideas on where our companies could be better. So I'm going to tool you up with some strategies. I also wanted to flag that there are some things that I consider 101 CS level for digital scale. I'm going to assume that you are familiar with these and that we've already gone through these kind of exercises as a team at your respective companies. Going to run through these super quickly before we go to the level 201. If these are confusing, feel free to get in touch with me after this call. We can deep dive into these, but I would expect that during your sales cycle, you're already evaluating what the specific customer metrics of success are, what the specific jobs to be done are. You've already done some work on customer segmentation, on persona mapping, and your journey mapping. So all of these, we'll mention these. These are a bit fundamental to the 3 strategies we'll talk about today. So 3 strategic frameworks for intentionally infusing customer delight into the digital scale phase. First framework, pop an emoji in the chat for me. I'm not sure I can see the chat, but maybe Priscilla can help me with it. If you have heard of the book, The Power of Moments by Chip and Dan Heath, or if you have read the book, The Power of Moments by Chip and Dan Heath. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Can I see the chat? I see a couple of yeses. Beautiful. Okay, so there's a little bit of familiarity, but this does seem to be new to most folks on the call. Fantastic. I highly recommend this book. It is not specifically written for product and CS, but I consider this to be such a cornerstone of how to have effective CS strategy. So would super encourage you check this out. I'm going to go quickly, but this is one of the most useful models in the book. It is called the EPIC model. The components are elevating the experience, creating moments of pride, creating insights for your users, and fostering community. So I have spent hours training teams on this. I would recommend you get trained up on this, train your team. I'd actually recommend you even train anyone who's a CS ambassador at your company on these things. It's really exciting and really fun to have these tools to foster delight into your customer experiences. But I'm going to try to do this justice in about a minute. So Elevate is all about boosting sensory appeal We can do that in the digital phase through vivid pictures, vivid branding, raising the stakes by doing something unexpected, anything that is like think of going above and beyond or doing something delightful in app to celebrate users. Pride, this is where we use the strategy of celebrating our users, where milestones are often a way that we do this when you're looking at your journey map and you figure out what was the first time my customer solved a problem using my technology, or how can I quantify value that we gave to our customer through our application. It's especially powerful if you can use this to circle back to what matters most to users. Going back to your intake surveys, your segmentation, your stakeholder analyses, what do these people care about? Is it being more sustainable? Is it being a really great teacher or a really great doctor? Is it being a very innovative company? Taking these and really celebrating the moments where your customers nail it, those moments of pride are very special and lead to product stickiness, deeper connection, all these good leading indicators that lead to our revenue goals. Insights, really great apps and digital experiences will help customers trip over the truth, will help provide insights that will help your users become evangelists for your product. Then lastly, community. We often see this in the digital world, making it really easy for somebody to share out their insights on social media. This could be both. This would also mean building like a community forum for people to help problem solve and connect over how to use your product better. It can also be like community problem solving, or it could also be allowing you to celebrate your wins out to your community. BD version of going through Epic model. Elevate the sensory experience, create moments of pride for your users, create insights, and help them connect with a community around your product. So I'm going to share a couple of examples. Let's hear it in the chat. This is a boutique fitness workout company, Barry's Bootcamp. They offer about approximately hour sessions. So it's kind of like a Soul Cycle, and they have an app. And one of the personalized reports that they provide to their customers in app is this little page here that has some key insights. So why don't you type in the chat, are they using any components of the Epic model well? And what components of the Epic model could this company better leverage? I'll give you guys just a few moments. Pride, awesome. Community, absolutely. They have this share button so you can share out your insights to the community. Insights, absolutely. Good. Say more about pride. They could improve insights. Great. I love this. I'm not seeing anyone say elevate, and I agree with you. Don't think that Barry's really has anything here that is, they don't have any animations. They don't have anything that's particularly personal to me. This user, it kind of looks like it could be anyone's dashboard. It doesn't have my personal goals. It does have a milestone, which is fantastic. I think they could level up this moment of pride and insight by reconnecting to any goals I shared at the top of my product kickoff. So if I shared that am I using berries to connect with community? Am I using berries to lose weight? Am I using berries to enhance my performance in a specific sport? Why am I specifically using company? I think they could modify this message and say something like 65 opportunities for connection with people in Seattle, or 65 moments that you invested in your health, or some kind of personalized digital messaging that reflects back my pride and my insights in my community. Beautiful. Thank you for your participation in the chat. I have another example here I'd love to hear your thoughts on. So this is Duolingo, a language learning app. They have great gamification and digital engagement. Where do you see this company in this example using the Epic model? Or where do you see an opportunity for them to better leverage the Epic model? Definitely. They've created a milestone. So you're feeling proud of how well you've done as a user. Insight, yeah, maybe I didn't realize how often I've been using this app. That's amazing. Share, absolutely. They actually have both internal and external. They're allowing you to share externally to social media, and then they have internal community moments where you can comment or give a little feedback within the app. Elevate, I completely agree that the emoji is Elevate. This is breaking the norm. They have a little owl with sunglasses, like really dynamic. This app also has sounds. They have really delightful little characters. It's like, it's not just a dry language learning app. They really have a lot of delight infused. They really elevate the sensory experience. What could they do better here leveraging the Epic model? More insights. Tell me more. Tell me more about more insights. Yeah, tell me more about Elevate and more insights. I don't know if you guys can also raise hands and talk. Great. I didn't mean to constrain you to the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to raise hands and share, you're super welcome to. Number of
I guess the
words
comparison
or
here,
phrases.
like on elevating, pushing people to do more by comparing them with others where they rank compared to others. People are very like driven to like, how do I compete? Where do I rank close to my competitors, right? Where do I sit and how can I do better? How close am I to my closest competitor or to the number one app or something like that?
Beautiful. Yes, those were so many strategies across gamification, community, insight. How do you, like, they could foster more community competition. They do that in other places, but that's extraordinary. Someone else is sharing this a streak in all languages, in one language. What about additional milestones? Like you can now speak, you can now order at a restaurant. You can now, you are so much more prepared for your trip to Argentina. Let's see, by providing more educational insights, like a link where they can see fun facts or the importance of a milestone. Beautiful. How could you really, 365 days is an okay milestone. It's a little arbitrary. How could they make the milestone more meaningful? I love fun facts. Like most people who, I'm making this up, but something like most people who have a 365-day streak say they feel comfortable speaking, speaking to a new person for the first time in this language. Most people who get to 365 days feel more excited for their vacation, whatever it is. Do some research and figure out how could you make that milestone even more meaningful. I love it. Thank you for all your participation and engagement, team. So moving on to framework number 2, you're going to see of uh, a lot of overlap with the elevate component, with that boosting sensory appeal, doing something surprising, going above and beyond. I like to call this one the delight factory. How might you work within the constraints of your brand, maybe the constraints of your industry, to get creative, silly, and unexpected? And I hear a lot of people push back and say, oh, Heather, I'm in financial services or I'm in healthcare. I can't have an owl with sunglasses, in my app. Valid. I think there's still a lot that we can do to make our digital experiences more delightful. So a couple of examples that I've specifically chosen from 2 companies who are in very highly regulated spaces that have to be very serious and very trust building. One is Vanta. Vanta helps software companies obtain really complicated security certifications like SOC 2 and ISO 01. So this company is like helping you navigate lots of dry compliance regulation. They're in the security business. Yet something delightful that Vanta does is when you get through their digital checklist of your security tasks, they have a little confetti llama that pops up and celebrates and says, good job, you've finished all your tasks for today. They have a whole story behind their llama about llamas are actually very protective and they help farmers to maintain their livestock and not lose livestock to predators. So super delightful. They manage to maintain their very, they have a brand of like, we do very serious security work. We help you navigate really intense regulations, yet we have little llamas as our logo. Another example, Carta is a company that helps founders, investors, law firms, often in highly regulated industries, manage their tricky like finance and stock matters and manage their options. So as an end user for Carta, one of the pieces of their digital experience is that they'll send you a milestone email with little congratulations confetti whenever your options have vested. So they make it, not only do they make it very easy to understand, very seamless, they help coordinate all the pieces. This is again a very serious company, but they take time to celebrate you as a user and create this little elevated moment of celebrating alongside you. I think we got through that one pretty quickly. Delight framework number 3. This one builds off of the last two. As you're looking at your customer journey map, I see companies doing an all right job on Epic, and I see them doing an all right job on infusing delight. Something I often don't see software SaaS companies really is getting to customer values and reflecting them back. Really leveraging that intake data around why did the customer buy the product? What does success look like for them? And how does this user want to see themselves? How do they want to be celebrated? So we're starting to give them milestones, like someone brought up earlier, 365 days. Like, cool, but what does that insight really mean for me? How do I want people in my community to see me? So I'm actually pulling an example here from a retail company that does this well. And I'd love to hear all of you and hear examples of if you have seen tech companies do this well, or where there might be more possibility for tech companies to do this well. So Rothy's is a shoe company. Their shoes are made of recycled plastic. And they have all kinds of beautiful marketing and storytelling around sustainability. So if you wear Rothy's shoes as a user, you get to tell the story that you are someone who cares about the environment because you're wearing shoes that are made of recycled products. You get to share that these shoes are washable, so not only are they stylish, they're also practical. It's almost like a conversation piece. You get to share these fun facts. They also kind of navigate between the world of fashionable and practical. Rothy's is an example where they give you lots of messaging over and over that this is a recycled shoe. People who wear this care about the environment. If you're wearing Rothy's, you're using your power and your influence to save the environment. I love that. I think this is just a fantastic way to message to your users, and I'd love to see more companies when they use their insights. By investing 365 days in learning Spanish, you are growing your ability to connect with other people. You are a community builder. How can we translate these insights back into values for customers? Awesome. So we are running tight on time, and I do want to give everybody time to ask some questions. So I will pause there. I'd love to hear, do you have examples of companies who reflect back user values really successfully? Or do you have ideas for how companies could reflect back user values more successfully? Let's see. I'm hearing Allbirds does a really good job with marketing too. I love that. How do you recommend ensuring that top-line initiatives to create customer delight can be effectively scaled and personalized across a growing base and segment? We should have a whole deep dive chat about this, Eddie.
I run across this all the time with my clients.
You run across this all the time in what?
With my clients when they're looking to scale and they're at wit's end as to how do I maintain this
message for.
Yeah, I mean, these are things, all of these strategies that I've shared are intended.
Honestly, I don't think I'm coming. Okay, so I have
All
to
of these
focus here.
strategies are intended to be rolled out digitally. Oh, I just lost my slides. See if I can stop sharing and see you guys. There we go. These are all intended to be rolled out digitally. So these are all things that you can do, not one by one, but en masse. So I would recommend like an intake survey where you figure out what are the 5 typical buckets that my customers fall into. Like they want to be more innovative, they want to be more connected with their community. You'll know best based on your product what these kind of typical value buckets are. And then I would put your customers on different messaging tracks based on whatever insight they give you at the top of the, like your kickoff process or your sales process. So then you're creating a digital experience for a customer where when you're projecting back, you have a 365-day streak. Say it's Duolingo, you would give different messages for each of those 5 segments. And you would say, this 365-day streak is going to make your vacation so much more meaningful. Or this 365-day streak is going to help you talk to your in-laws. Like how beautiful that you'll have that you're meshing your families together in that way. And making things up, but giving, really personalizing those insights is one example of, I'm not saying that you email each customer this. I'm saying this is like a digital CS program that you build out. Yeah, we might have time for one more question. Awesome. I hope that was valuable
No
for
questions. You did such a great job. Look at that. No questions.
It's a huge topic. There's so much to talk about. I would love to nerd out with you. I offer free 30-minute consulting sessions tailored to your product if you want to talk about specifically how might we do this better at my company. Yeah, so would love, I'll put my LinkedIn and my Medium and my email in the chat so you can follow up with me. I really appreciate all your engagement and I really appreciate this community.
Thank you so much, Heather. You're amazing.
Thanks,
I know you're
Thank you.
going on vacation soon. So I appreciate you squeezing us in and preparing this whole presentation for us and this topic that it's really helpful and important, right? Because we often forget and we often just get busy putting out fires and we forget, like, how can we make this fun? How can we make this good? How can we like do little things even without so many tools, right? Get creative. I used to do a ton of like customer appreciation week, like little things, send them a gift card at Grubhub, like little things because we didn't have a lot of tools, right? But you can think about it, get creative, like before you ask them for things, make sure you're giving them things, right? You're giving them the milestones, you're giving them the value, and then you're going to earn the right to ask for the testimonial, for the renewal, for so many things that we ask them every day, right? But how can we share 50-50? I see that Heather put the links there. She's also on the Slack, on LinkedIn, connect with her. We're going to hear more from her soon. But if you have any questions, drop in the Slack. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking 30 minutes out of your day to join us again today. And I'll see you all very soon.